Hello, it's Blake Cahoon. This is our brand new show called Conversations with Blake and the Team. I am a conscious channel, and we are going to talk with the team about today's subject matter, which is choices. So we're going to wait for a few more minutes because it's actually 6:59, not 7 p.m. here in our beautiful mountain town of Albuquerque, New Mexico. For those of you who do not know why we were off the air for so long, was one, I was burned out, and two, I was moving. We got word about Easter that we were going to move to New Mexico. And then the rest of it has been historic because that means we needed to pack, we needed to find a house. All of that took a lot of time. And so, hey, Marge. So that's why it's been such a journey for us. This has been a fascinating year. 2019 is turning out to be a really interesting little year here. And we didn't want to do something, we wanted to do something different, okay? I had a conversation with the team, and I said, I want to be able to provide practical advice to people in a way that's down to earth, more down to earth than heaven sent. Although, because I'm a conscious channel, what does that mean? It means that I don't need to go under. I don't need to sit here and go under like I've been doing with the Team Speak show. That was very difficult for me. And I said, it's difficult for me to do that. I just have a tendency to bring the team in and they talk to me, and I just automatically go into trance and start talking by means of the team. And that's what this show is all about. We're going to make it half an hour. We're going to be talking about a specific topic. We're going to try to give you practical advice. It's me and the team. That's why it is a conversation. So you ask questions. Hey, April. And I know that there's other people here because there's a little ticker, but you're not saying hi, and that's okay. We got lots of lurkers, and I'm so glad that we have more than 6 people. I thought maybe we're going to have 3, so that's great. Now, at the 25 mark, we were going to give you just a few offerings, but we want you to stay tuned because at the end of our program, we're going to give you a group, not a card read, but a group card read for everybody, and the team will finish it off. And it's going to be a half-hour show every other week. Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain, and that is 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. I want to thank Diane Schomer for getting me straight with that because we put the wrong things up to begin with, and she said, hello, I used to live there. I think I know my times. So, and she deals with worldwide people. So hopefully we have some worldwide people here. Julie, hello, hello, hello. So this is going to be every other week. We're going to have classes. Hey, Dee Dee. We're going to have a subject matter that you can use, okay? So today's conversation, of course, you can ask questions too. Just type them in. We might not be able to get to everybody. We'll certainly try to get to as many as we can. So today is choices. And we're not going to get political on the show, but boy, people are making some bad choices, and they're making some good choices too. We all have to make choices in this world. And I saw, and hopefully this thing will, there we go. We actually have an internet provider that is much better than we used to have in Lexington. That place was actually going out of business. So we have CenturyLink. But they were fixing something. Made me nervous because they were fixing something outside the thing, but we're here. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, we've got 9 people. We thought we were going to have 3, so thank you for everybody showing up. So the team has been talking to me. We talked to a couple people over the last couple days, and this thing keeps freezing. I apologize. It will come back. And they talk about choices. What kind of choices? And they're basing their choices on their emotions. And the team is saying the one thing you don't want to do is you need to separate when you're trying to make a decision. Something more than, okay, what are we going to have for dinner tonight? Unless that becomes a sticking point with you, and then, you might want to step back and have people make dinner if you're always making dinner. But if you're trying to go right or left, they also want to point out there's no right or wrong choices here. It depends upon where you are in life and what your growth pattern is going to be. What do they mean by growth pattern? They mean, and this information is coming down to me right now. That's what I mean by being a conscious channel. Is that depending upon who you are and where you stand in this lifetime, you've got lots of lifetimes. So in past lifetimes, you may have made some bad choices, and they had dire consequences. In this lifetime, your lifetimes are sequential and not linear, but sequential in the fact that there's knowledge based on knowledge based on knowledge based on knowledge. So you're supposed to be getting smarter as you continue. Just like you get first grade and second grade and third grade and fourth grade, you're getting smarter each time, if you're allowing yourself to do so. Now, many people do not allow themselves to do so. And they're probably not going to stick around much longer in this program because they know who they are. And they're like, I don't care. I'm making bad choices. I'm just making choices. And if you're making choices off the cuff, your choices are going to be off the cuff type choices, and you're going to have to live with those circumstances. Now, they're also reminding me to tell you that this is the law of karma, a cause and effect. So we're really kind of talking about choices, but we're talking about that. If you're looking for laws, universal laws, and you want to slip that into that, that's what we're talking about here. Depending upon what kind of choices you're making, you're going to have some sort of effect. It's going to have some sort of effect. Now, one of the things we do is we have two types of choices. We have the choices that we personally make, and then we have the choices that are made for us. And sometimes those choices can come out of left field, and we don't know what we're doing because they're out of left field. This happens when we have divine intervention and perhaps a loved one is taken from us, either through forcible means or they voluntarily leave. Let's dig down a little bit on that one and say, okay, so if somebody died from an illness, a car accident, murder, or divorce, or sickness, that would be a situation that you may not have any control over. There's a higher power here. And hopefully this will continue to stop freezing. Okay, let's see if we can. This thing is freezing on me. This is supposed to be good, so there we go. There we go. It stopped now. Not sure. We've got good internet, so but this is the first time we've had this type of program with this company, so we'll have to see. Okay. I'm seeing who else has made comments here. Hey, Donna, Rhonda. So when the divine comes in and shakes up your world, it's because you've got dealings with other people. And sometimes you don't have too many choices about what their actions are going to do. Now, sometimes what you want to be able to do is take advantage of your own intuitive abilities to see the bigger picture and monitor your loved ones So, you're not caught unawares if they get sick, they have a car accident, or they're divorcing you, because chances are, and again, we apologize if the screen freezes, just hang in there. Chances are you got a hint somewhere along the way. And if you didn't, you're not paying attention. And that in of itself is a choice. So do we have any questions so far? Okay, we're seeing if that. We've got a lot of little faces here, and they're not showing up for me. We've got these like little fireworks, so keep trying. We are having a little technical issues, but hang in there. Hey, Jody. And so how do we deal with some of this? Now, if it's our choice, again, if it's the divine choice, you may not have much say-so in it, but what you can do is decide, make a choice about how you want to react, to the situation, any situation you have, whether you are making the choices of your own or they're divine choices made for you, or people are making those choices for you. Then you choose how you want to react. Now, the problem is that a lot of times we react very emotionally. And the team isn't saying to turn into Mr. Spock of Star Trek fame. He was very logical, for those of you who don't know who Mr. Spock is from Star Trek. And why don't you? But what you want to do is look at these choices that you make. How are you going to react to them? And how are you going to make good choices? Now, the team and I sat down earlier, and we have some suggestions for you. And again, it's your choice if you don't want to take any of these suggestions. They're just suggestions. And if you don't, hopefully you get something out of it. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. So how do you make good choices? How do you make good choices? Well, you've got to examine your options, okay? You've got to examine your options. So let's say a choice was made for you. Your boss comes in and says, we're letting, the factory's closing, everybody's being let go. Well, I would say that either you were ignoring the signs that were there and you didn't get your resume going, or this came out of the nowhere and they kept it under wraps, and again, you're not paying attention. Again, a lot of choices that are being made out there that are extra, not your own choices, but somebody like divine or outside of your scopes of influences, there's signs out there. You have got to become more self-aware so you can notice those signs and react and act accordingly. So let's say you have a choice. I'm going to pick on somebody who was talking about possible divorce today. That's a choice, You made a choice to marry somebody. You took vows and said, yes, we're going to stay together for as long as possible, as long as God wants us to, for better or for worse. There's usually something in there about that. And then for whatever reason, you guys split up. So if it's your choice to leave the relationship, you've got to look at the consequences of that choice. And it doesn't matter if it's divorce or leaving your job or trying a new recipe on the family. Really, what are the consequences of this choice? How is this choice going to affect you? And what that means is you've got to examine your values, your morals, because you all have them, your belief systems, which really, really helps you make choices in everyday life, your belief systems. Start examining what your beliefs are, and those will give you a hint of where you're going and how you're making choices. And then your history. Have you historically made bad choices in your mind? Again, there's no bad or good, it's just a different path. And the team will say that right to you. It is not a good or bad choice. It is a choice. It is taking you down path A or path B. You can switch. If you don't like A, go back to B. And then you have to decide how your choice affects others. And do you care? For the narcissist, they don't care. For the amoral individual, they don't care. For the Ted Bundys or the Jeff Dahmers or the serial killers and some politicians out there, they don't care how their choices affect other people. They're just going to make their choices and plow on through. That is probably not a good method of making intelligent choices that are going to benefit you and other people. You really want a win-win situation. So look at their reaction. If you know your family really likes steak and you're trying to give them a vegan meal, their reaction may be negative. So think about that. Now, here's other suggestions. And I really wish this thing would stop freezing. Study others in similar situations. Is this thing freezing for you all? I keep seeing it freezing on my end. And I will have to see if I can't get more power to this going forward. Study others in similar situations that you're in. This is really good if you're becoming unemployed unexpectedly, or if you're going through a divorce, or you're going through a relationship issue. What are other people doing in similar? And what happened? When they did A, B, and C, what happened? Did D, E, and F happen, or is it X, Y, Z? And how can that be centered around your situation? Ask for advice. That's always good. But you got to be careful about who you ask. Be a supportive person and recognize what their belief systems are and their values and their morals, because if they have strong beliefs about something, and we're going to use the Catholic faith, the Catholic faith doesn't like you to get divorced. But if your husband's beating you, you might want to get divorced. If you're Catholic and you ask a Catholic priest, they're going to tell you, stick with your husband. At least you got a husband. So ask for advice, but from the proper support systems. And then educate yourself. You know, we've been talking about, and the team says don't worry about this too much because things are very fluid and in flux these days. But the human race has been talking about another big recession, okay? So you may react to that badly. You may get emotional about that. You may panic. The worst thing you could do, and this is what they're talking about when you're looking at emotions and reactions. What are good emotions to have? Panic is not one of them. And again, there's no bad. You may panic. You may be in a place where you're panicking. They're not saying that you shouldn't panic. There are times when you should panic. But you need to be wary of where you are and expand your self-awareness so that if you do wind up with a swamp with the alligators, you know how to get out of the swamp and how to treat alligators. So educate yourself. Again, there's no right or wrong way of doing anything. There's simply different paths, okay? They lead to different results, and that's okay. That's part of your growth. And depending upon where you are on your own personal growth and your own self-development, Don't beat yourself up. They're telling me to tell you, don't beat yourself up. Allow change, allow growth, because a lot of the things that happen to you, you made a decision that you wanted to go down a path during your in-between times, between this lifetime and the next lifetime. Sorry, I have terrible allergies today. My apologies. It's not pleasant. I'm getting used to the New Mexico. I got used to the Lexington, and now I've got to get used to the New Mexico allergies. Allow the change and growth. So allow yourself to change and grow. A lot of times things happen to us because we made decisions and choices somewhere in the past, whether it's a past life or months ago. You know, look at your history and see where you're coming from. Learn how to compromise and learn to communicate, because communication is key, especially when it turns out to be relationships. And human beings are all about relationships. So that is our conversation about choices tonight. Now, it is 7:20, and we're going to pick a card for you in just a few minutes. But I want to tell you some of the offerings we have right now, because that's how we keep the lights on, okay? We released this book last year, Learning to Live in the Light. It is a Team Speaks book. We've been talking with the team tonight. If you've got any questions, please ask. We will try to get to them. And we didn't really publicize this book much. So we're going to start publicizing it more. And believe it or not, Amazon is available on Amazon and with our web store. Yeah, if you get it from our web store, we do sign these things. And sign it for you. And this is a compilation. Yeah, Rhonda, talking about people not being able to speak. Compilation of many live channeling events that I have held over the years. And people asked questions, and the team answered them, and we recorded them, and then we transcribed them, and they made into this book. It was how I learned to live in the light and make better choices and recognize the choices I were making and how I came to those conclusions and how to make better choices. So this is a book, I don't know how much it is. Go look it up on the angelicpath.com, and I think it's about between 10 and 15 bucks. We are very, very excited. Stay tuned. We're going to get to your card in just a minute. We are very excited for edition 2 of book 1 of the Twist of Time book series. We're currently writing book 5. Book 2, this is a copy of book 2. It's a proof. Book 2 is coming out in probably about 2 weeks, probably the second week in October. It continues the adventures of Kate and Charles, and we deal with ghosts and warlocks and jealousy, and of course, there's always time travel. So this is book 2. It is coming out. You can buy these in paperback and Kindle. The Kindle editions are $2.99. Learning to Live in the Light is also available on Kindle. So if you don't want to pay for a paperback and you have access to Kindle, please look at Kindle. So we're really excited about these 2 books. I love writing these fiction books, and we're on book 5 now. We're on book 5, which is just a matter of time. That's the name of it. Time is in every channel. So let's look and see if you have any questions. And thank you for hanging in there with me on the first show. Yes, it's freezing. Yes, it is. It's freezing all over the place. Okay. Okay. I thought New Mexico was allergy free. Yeah, I thought so too, but I got two big old trees out my yard. So I'm going to have to look it up. Yes. Okay, you're not having any questions, so this will be available for replay. And, okay, where's the, oh, there it is. And if you've got any questions, ask it between now and 6 minutes from now, because this is only a half-hour program. We will be back October 9th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, watch the replay because this is freezing up. I will call the cable company and find out what's going on. They were working on it, and that might have had something to do with it. I can tell you this, Zoom has absolutely no problems, but Facebook does. So I don't know what's going on with the freezing of the Facebook. Of course, Facebook may be having issues tonight. So, c'est la vie. Okay, here is the card of the evening. A reading for all of you. Oh, this is a good one. Positive expectations. Positive expectations. The more positive you are, and I'll just keep that up there, the more positive you are about life, the more life will hand you that is positive. This has been a life lesson for me during my choice to move to New Mexico. I had a choice to move from Lexington to New Mexico. When I first got here and we ran into buku problems, I thought I'd made the wrong choice. I'm learning now that I didn't. It just took a little time for me to get settled because I'm human too. But I kept forwarding positive expectations out there, and I knew it was going to get better. I have a great support system, and that support system has been wonderful for me. So thank you, support system. And you all are a support system too. I love the way it freezes. Anyway, so if anybody doesn't have questions, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back October 9th at 7 p.m. Mountain. We are putting together some classes too. They will be out there. And we'll decide, we're going to make a choice if we're going to do this every week. But right now we're going to do it every other week because I've got some things to do, like put out books. So go check it out. Check us out at Angelic Awakenings. Facebook finally manages to do that at the same time. You click on a little button so I don't have to go do that. It's been simulcasting over on the Angelic Awakenings group and the Angelic Path. We're no longer allowed to be on the Facebook page of Blake Cahoon with this type of show because we sell things. They don't like it anymore. So Facebook has changed. Let me double check and see if you have any comments or questions. We do have like 2 minutes left. How is Lizzie? Lizzie is doing very well. She was around here someplace a little while ago, and she is getting outside. She's going out for 2 hours at a time, and she's coming right back in. She's doing great. She's getting acclimated. The place is smaller. That's why the screens look a little weird because it's a different place. Let me see. See you next time, Julie. Okay, that's it for tonight. We're keeping it short and sweet so that there's less for you guys to look at and replays. Again, I apologize for the technical issues. It is what it is. We've got some sort of event logs here. I don't know what that means, but we will find out. Okay, thank you very much, and see you next time. See you next time.